Opening comments?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Denise Malavi, the Garrison CSM, and I'm glad I live here.
All right, good.
Thank you. If you're not tracking, it was yesterday, so if you get a time and you see the boss, his birthday was yesterday. And so we would just, so if we could on the count of 3 before we start, just say happy birthday, that would be amazing. So 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday, boss.
That's all I have, sir.
27 years old. Hey, thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for that, Sergeant Major. Today's CLIF is an important one as we talk about housing, because it continues to be, it's a challenge for all of Europe, right? We're living in houses that were built, in some cases 70 years ago, right? And it's a lot of there's a lot of time and effort that we put into trying to bring those houses up to par. And we've got some long-term plans for the installation that will address the housing as a whole in terms of building new infrastructure for the installation. Unfortunately, that's going to take a little time to come to fruition. So I'm happy today to have the housing team and Ms. Bates with us here. We just executed a housing survey, a tenant satisfaction survey. We're getting the results back for that now. We had a really great participation from the community. Which is really good because it helps us get better. So we take all the comments that come in through the tenant satisfaction survey, and then we develop an action plan that can help us address those issues. So I'm sure that you have plenty of questions in the room and online for Ms. Bates, but we'll let her get her piece out front, and then we'll open it up to questions for her, and then we'll do the around the room for the rest of the garrison. So thanks for being here.
Great. All right. So we've put together some things that we think you might be interested in, and then as the boss said, I'm happy to take your questions afterwards. So for our brand new families, or for anyone in the room, if you don't know already, our Garrison has a fantastic app, the U.S. Army Garrison Stuttgart app. I venture to say, I may be biased, but I think we have the best app in all of IMCOM, and we have jam-packed it with so much information. I used it when I got here nearly 4 years ago, and it's even that much better now. So not just a plug for us, but everybody, all the players in the room, lots of great information on there. So please share with your friends and families that are incoming. If they've not done so already, download the app. You can go to our housing icon there, and there's everything from videos, some floor plans, what to do before arrival, what to do when you get here, what you can ask for even before you get here. Some people may not know that we have a plane to pillow program, which means that if we have available inventory, we can move people straight off the plane into their family housing unit on post. With loaner furniture, we can connect you with ACS to get some temporary kitchen items. So it's really a great program. Please do share that with folks. Next slide, please. All right, let me give you just a little bit about the operating picture here for housing in not just Stuttgart, but really all of Europe. And if you don't know, family housing, there is a mandatory assignment policy for all of Europe, which means that if you are coming to Europe as a family, as an accompanied service member, and there is available inventory on post, you are required to live on post. And that's for all ranks, for all family sizes. No discrimination there, all the same practices. And here's some information on things that you can do ahead of time. We ask that people submit their orders to us before they get here, along with their application to housing, so that we can add them to the wait list. Eligibility date is determined by the date of when you detach your leaving organization. Okay. On or about, we have 1,330 family housing units on post, and that's spread out between Patch, Panzer, Kelly, and Robinson Barracks. There is a 2-pet limit in family housing. If you have someone that has a 3rd pet, there is an ETP process that we can go to where we can consider an additional pet. So please make sure that people aren't too worried about that. If there is no inventory available, we will issue what is called a certificate of non-availability, or a CNA, so that you can, or the family can house hunt off post. And we do that pretty quickly, and in some cases we may be even able to do that shortly before arrival, especially if the family is coming in the mid-PCS season. And then for anyone that's eligible to live off post, our office will do the contract reviews and assist with house hunting. On the unaccompanied housing side, or our personnel that would be traditionally living in barracks, there is also a mandatory assignment policy for all unaccompanied personnel in the ranks of E6 or below. There are some minor exceptions, and there is currently a one-year pilot program for bona fide bachelor E6s to be able to reside off post. There's some nuances depending on not only rank and whether personnel are active duty or reservist or National Guard. So without going into all of those details, we ask that people reach out to our office to get those particulars. And everybody else in the lower ranks are required to live in barracks if there is space. Bachelor officers and bachelors in the ranks of E7 or above are permitted to reside off the installation. Pets are not permitted in barracks, and we advise against shipping household goods if someone is required to live in barracks. Any questions so far? All right. We also have the off-post housing office that's managed by the Mission Essential team. It's a contracted team for us, and they provide the house hunting support. They will assist with transportation to viewing properties. They provide inspections for move-ins and move-outs, and they also offer mediation services in the event that there's some trouble between a landlord and the tenant during the tenancy. And lastly, they manage the homes.mil website, which is a website, a DoD-owned website where we vet landlords and properties. It's sort of like, I don't know, our version of realtor.com, if you will, and we share that with our customers. There's also some other websites out there that are not managed or vetted by our office, such as Immobilien Scout and Buku. Those are all the things that you're welcome to share with the community, but just know that we don't vet those properties on there. We don't really know much about the landlords. And there's certain things that are required of us that won't be on those websites. For example, it is pretty commonplace in Europe, and Germany in particular, that if you find a rental property, there may not be a kitchen. It may just be a big hole where the kitchen would be, no light fixtures. So any properties that rent with us on homes.mil are required to have full kitchens, light fixtures, bathrooms, and so forth. Any questions? All right, next slide, please. I want to talk a little bit about the ship store, the self-help issue point, because it is something that not all of our residents know about, and it is a place where you can go if you reside on post to get certain things for self-improvement in your home, like light bulbs, limited painting supplies, some plumbing supplies such as shower heads, and these are all free of service. All right, next slide, please. Just a couple Q&As that we've gathered from previous town halls and so forth, and just some questions. Can people paint the interiors of on-post residences? And yes, you can, and you can do any paint of your choosing, so long as when you move out, you restore it to the flat white paint. Can you hang items on the walls? Yes, you can. Again, if there's any damage caused to walls that move out, the expectation is that you repair those holes, or there could be a minimal charge to repair that. Okay, and that sort of answers the next question: what happens if I don't return the wall color or make repairs before move out? And the government could charge you to correct any of those deficiencies. Right, just a final note for anyone that's leaving, or if you know anyone that's leaving, we ask that you please let us know as soon as you know, especially if you have orders. We'd like to do a pre-inspection with you, a pre-termination inspection with you 45 to 60 days out. That allows us to go in and give you some recommendations of things that you need to do to restore the unit to avoid any out-of-pocket expenses, and it allows us also to make some plans to get the unit ready for the next family. You don't need orders. If you know that you're going to be leaving on or about the next 45 to 60 days, you can schedule that with us, even without orders. right, that brings me to the last slide, which is our contact information, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
So while you're thinking of that first question, just a couple of thoughts about where we're going with housing, just in Europe as a whole. Most of the installations in Europe have stairwell housing like what we have here, and most of them are all built about the same time and are all having the same issues. Sergeant Major and I were in Italy last week to go through the new. They're not stairwells, but kind of high rises that they're building there in Italy, which is what we're going to model the plan for in Europe. And so it's a garage as the first floor. So everybody will have a parking spot in a garage. It's elevator. It's got an elevator in it. The floors are offset, and they're soundproofing the building. So I think a lot of the concerns that we have with stairwell housing, noise, parking. This new plan would get after it. And MCOM Europe is planning to replace every stairwell in Europe, over the next extended period of time. We just got to nominate the stairwell units that that are in the worst condition to go first in the hopper. So they're developing a plan that'll kind of lay that out over the long term to replace every stairwell in Europe, and that's kind of managed by MCOM Europe right now. That's first piece. Second piece is where we have the GFOQ housing, starting with Patch. We're gonna tear that whole neighborhood out and make better use of the space that we have there. So right now we have like 41 homes on Florida Strasse. We're looking at increasing that to about 100 homes, which will include duplexes and some single-family homes, and then still some GFOQs as well. But we're still in the early planning stages of that. But the good news is that we're actually taking the time to really look at AFH. On our installations here in Europe, and some the folks in this room may not see the fruition of it, but your feedback and your input going into it is going to be helpful as we address it for the future generations. So, thanks, Madeline. So no questions at all. Okay, we got one in the back of the room. Sergeant Major, you want to talk barracks?
Hi, good morning. And your question was, is there a chance that the barracks will mimic what we're going to do with stairwell housing? Is that the question?
Yes, Sergeant Major.
Yes, so I am not tracking that is going to take place. As far as changing it, what we are doing is renovating them. To get them to the Army standard for per person per soldier, or 2 per soldier. So I'm short, so I'm gonna have to stand up so I can see you. I like to see people when I talk to them. And so so what we are trying to do is improve what we have, and I don't see that unless Ms. Bates is tracking something different. We are not trying to make the barracks or looking at making the barracks the same way as we are doing stairwell housing. Did that answer your question?
Madeline's got.
Okay, hold on. Let Ms. Bates probably add more to that.
I can just add, absolutely correct. We are getting ready to renovate one of our barracks starting in the fall. The blueprints are quite exciting. It's very nice. We'll be happy to share that if anybody wants to see sort of what the design plan is.
If you would like to see the blueprints, or you're just curious so you can kind of advocate for the plan, or so you can kind of help the soldiers understand that we do take quality of life serious, you're always welcome to reach out to me, and we will definitely make sure that you get that so that you can share it with your soldiers. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions out there? Okay, Kyle.
Well, next, that is, okay. So the last slide had this our contact information. Again, the next piece here, go to the next slide, is our calendar events. So we have the Mar4 Your golfing tournament on the 10th. AFRICOM Africa Day is on the 22nd of May. Memorial Day ceremony as well is going to be on the 27th. And then the Firehouse Open House is going to be on the 30th. And I think DHR will probably cover some more about that. Next slide. In June, we have the Army Ball, the UCOM Army Ball on the 8th. And then the 12th of June is our next CLIF. Next slide. In July, of course, we have the Independence Day activities on the 4th. The next CLIF after that is 10 July. And then the 23rd is our quarterly community town hall. And that's on the 23rd. Next slide. And then, again, the CLIF topic, in the takeaway package, you're gonna see all these items that are in here. Next. And then community information form, the next one on 12 June is gonna be support request processes. That's the next topic in the hopper, so if you can think of your questions that you need to address at that time, that would be appreciated. And with that, if there's no questions for me, I will turn over to DPW.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Janie McCreary, the Deputy Director of DPW, and I'm got an update for you on 4 of the projects kind of community interest. There are obviously a lot more projects that we're doing on base, and you can get updates on those in the takeaway packet. First up is the Patch Gym. Unfortunately, that project's been delayed, and actually it's now slipped since the slide has been published to September is the new reopening date. They've had a lot of problems above the multi-court area in getting the HVAC repaired there. They're also doing fire alarms work. So the patch sewer repair, everyone will be very excited to see, is coming to an end, you know, with all the road closures and detours. That ends next month. The CDC repairs at building 2345, the phase 1 is complete, and once the staffing is up to what they need to reopen, they will reopen that CDC, and then we'll proceed with the phase 2 of the renovation. The last thing is the RB Elementary School. The demolition of the Valley buildings is in progress. The school construction should start in the winter of 2024, and then the estimated completion date is December of 2027. Pending your questions, that is the update from DPW. And I will turn it over to, I forget who is next, DFMWR. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Carrie Sharp. I'm the Chief of the Army Community Service. I am not Joe Johnson, but I am here filling in for him today while he's TDY, and I'm just going to go over a few things for you. First of all, please know that CYS Summer Sports registration is coming the 14th of May for the 19th of July. Great opportunity to get your kids out there involved in sports and get them active this summer, keep them moving. We've got the Rock the 80s Pump and Run. Get out your leg warmers, your headbands. If you've got an old Walkman, I think that would be a suitable place to show it off. So come join us on the 18th of May. You can register at any fitness center. Armed Forces Entertainment is coming to town. Ashley Gutermuth and Friends comedy show on the 18th of May. When I saw her name, when I looked at it, I thought that looks an awful lot like Guttermouth, and it made it made me Google her because I thought I want to be able to share with you exactly what you could expect. She is a clean entertainer, meaning that it's going to be family appropriate. You don't have to worry about that. And she also is married to an Air Force reservist, so she's built a lot of military spouse type stuff in there, and I think it's going to be a good time. So come on out and check that out, and it's going to be free right here at the Schwabian on the 18th. Facility closures and changes, just so you know what's coming up. Those of you who've been to the Galaxy Bowling Center, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I love retro bowling alleys. I think they're so much fun. But we are giving it an upgrade. We are bringing it up to modern times, modernizing it. So know that it is closed through the 6th of June. However, don't worry, you can still get your wings. Wings is going to remain open throughout this time, so go ahead and get your food there. As you all likely know, CYS, they're so busy taking care of our kids and being wonderful with our families that they often miss, we have to plan special times for them to get all their training done. A lot of training needs to keep them current and keep them providing excellent care. So we are going to be closed on the 24th of May. Be aware of that, make sure everyone's tracking. The good news is that is the Friday before Memorial Day. It's a training holiday. We expect it to be very quiet then, but I just want to make sure that nobody misses the memo on that one and that we're all planned for that. Same thing with ACS. We have a quarterly closure at our Army Community Service. Same thing, so that we can make sure we're strategically planning and trained up and doing all the best that we can for the community, and that will be on the 7th of June. Other items of interest, I'm sure you guys have heard that the AER campaign is going on. Big deal every year. This community benefits greatly from AER funds. We give a lot of grants and a lot of interest-free loans, so we're really hoping that community members will want to give back and help support what AER does in our community. Please take advantage of that opportunity. I will be, at the end of today's meeting, I'll be in the front lobby on your way out, and I've got our AER cookies. They're really cool. They have the QR code on them, so you can use the QR code to make a donation, and then you can reward yourself by eating the cookie. And they were made by one of our home-based businesses as well, so we were happy to be able to support a home-based business and in creating those cookies. We have our last TGIF with ACS on Robinson Barracks this Friday. This is our effort to really get out there to Robinson and provide some services out there. The theme this Friday will be True Colors. So if you know True Colors, it's about understanding your personality and how you integrate with other personalities in work, at family life, at home, at work. It's a lot of fun. Our instructor's really good. We always laugh and have a good time when we do it. We've done it for our whole ACS staff, and I think we've done it for the DFMWR staff as well. And like I said, it's a fun one, great for teenagers as well. So come on out and take advantage of that opportunity when we're trying to get out and about in the community. And finally, CYS recruitment fairs. Great opportunity for folks to get jobs, right? To work at CYS. I started my career with CYS. Lots of opportunities there. And in addition, if you know anybody who's looking, the more staff we have at CYS, the more services we can offer, right? So always pay attention to those dates. And again, if you have any family members or know anybody who may be interested, please check out one of those fairs on the 14th of May or the 11th of June. Does anyone have any questions for me? Yes, John?
Question online, when will the patch basketball courts be reopened?
Well, they knew that I wasn't the FMWR director and they were going to stump me. I'm sure they didn't. But DPW knows the answer. Jenny?
Should be September of this 2024.
We're looking at September of 2024. Thank you, DPW. I forgot you were in the House and integrally involved in that. You're, for CYS, create a basketball. I'm not sure if that's a project in the works, if you're aware, Jenny, or if that's come up before.
Yes, actually, that would be part of, it's a youth center Milcon project, which is, I don't remember the fiscal year off the top of my head. I want to say it's like FY '29, so it's further down the road. It would be part of the youth center. They do like a multi-purpose court.
Is there any way you can have CYS employees at our gyms during peak hours for our...
You mean have specific hours at the gym that are youth dedicated? You know, I don't have the authority for that, but I can check into it. And Ms. Corey, who works for FMWR, seems to have some feedback.
So one of the options for that is that the hub does occasionally take kids over to the Patch Fitness Center to accompany kids from the hub to the Patch Fitness Center. So that's always an option. And then on Panzer, they can do that as well. So we don't actually keep staff at the fitness center, but we will take groups of children from the youth center to the fitness center.
Okay, so for those of you at home, if you weren't able to hear that, or those of you watching on Facebook, DPW was able to clarify that there will be a multi-purpose center for youth being planned for the future, but we're looking at fiscal year '29, approximately. And there is an opportunity that the CYS staff can take kids to the fitness centers to utilize them at certain times. Did I capture that correctly, Corey? Okay, perfect. Thanks so much for both of your help. Any other questions for me? All right, thank you so much.
Good morning, Stuttgart. The Lord be with you. So I get to do the welcome brief regularly, and I want to begin with a shout out to housing. Most people don't pay a whole lot of attention in the welcome brief to most of the briefs, including mine. But the one place where everybody leans forward with great anxiety is finance, and even more so with housing. And I'm always so impressed with how gracious our housing personnel are, because they rarely get anybody but an anxious customer. There are those who absolutely have to live on post, and inevitably when you want to live on post, you can't. Those are people that absolutely want to live off post, and inevitably when you want that, there's plenty of room. So anyways, really, really appreciate the housing. As we were thinking about the theme this week, we also thought that we would blend it in with our desire in the RSO to also make Stuttgart a home. And part of Stuttgart being home is having lots of flourishing smaller homes, houses that are homes. I Googled it. You know, Google's a great thing. You can always have a conversation partner. You know, how do you turn your house into a home? And most of them were like buy new furniture, paint the room, you know, put up some pictures of your kids. And then there was a little higher level that talked about, you know, play games with your kids, create a family where you're talking. And then they talked about what I'm interested in, like, be hospitable. And I love that fact that whether you're, you know, whether you're a couple or whether you're parents or whether you're a single parent or whether you're single, that part of creating a home is available to everybody. I think C.S.M. Malave leads the way in this. Man, she creates a very hospitable place. If you see wherever she's going, she's opening up her life and her home, thinking of other people, and goes, I mean, it's an incredible example. Challenges me, but I see it all the time. I want to be like this. I want to be like this woman. She is creating hospitality and homeship wherever she goes. Now, just a couple of RSO specifics that I'd like to highlight. We're doing our VBS this summer. Really thankful to Jeff Nevin, who's taken it up to the next level. I think it's going to be the best VBS that Stuttgart has had in some time. We only have 200 slots, and we want to fill all those slots. We're doing a great job getting volunteers. And so just want to put that out there. VBS is memorable. We mentioned it last time, but want to remind everybody about this exciting opportunity. And then I also want to continue to point out our really awesome chaplain, Eric Bryan, who's our family life counselor working out of Panzer Chapel. He's as good as they get. And we've had several outside people coming down from lunch, like, hey, where's this chaplain, man? Our counselors are always telling us about what an impact he's having on people's lives. Remarkable. He's very interested in helping people create the kind of relationship capital that makes a house a home. And then finally, I'll conclude with this. Hannah Arendt, the political philosopher, one of the more well-known political philosophers in the 20th century, she said, Western civilization is always under attack by barbarians. She said, we call them children. Now, parents aren't at war with their children, but her point was, if you're going to create the right kind of society, the home is the heartbeat of where you pass on the values that allow a society to flourish. There have always been competing philosophies, but going all the way back to Moses and to Confucius and to Plato, all the way down, hard to beat the family. And so I encourage you, find subject matter that you can talk to in a family and help keep the barbarians at bay. Thanks, and have a great Stuttgart Day.
Okay, thank you, Chaplain. Always hard to follow the Religious Service Office. Good morning, everybody. My name is Rachel Long. I'm with the Garrison Safety Office. I'm here to talk about two different things this morning. The first being motorcycle safety. May is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, so when you're out and about, please know that there are increased riders on the road. Look twice, save a life is the campaign message.
We also offer Motorcycle Safety Foundation training for primarily service members, but DoD civilians can attend on a space available basis as well. So we have one upcoming basic rider course in July, and then we also have experienced rider courses throughout the year. So if you, not just for you, but if you have, especially with PCS season coming soon, if you have people that you're sponsoring that are service members that ride motorcycles, please know this training is required. You can check the calendar and register at the link provided on the screen. The last thing I want to talk quickly about is local national first aid responder training. It is required if you have local nationals in your workforce. They have to attend this training. If you have any questions, there's a number here for the local nationals in my office. They do manage the program, but there are training opportunities coming up. I can tell you the June training course is full, but the other courses are still available, plenty of seats left. Any questions for the safety office? We have a question.
Yes, so something that came up to me is, for a parent, K-Town has one, Japan has had one, but a driver's ed for our high school kids. Is that something that you guys offer or can offer? Because I'm pretty sure that with us having to take our kids back to the States, it's the driving part that would be beneficial for our community.
Totally understand. So the question was, does the safety office offer any driver's ed training for high school students? I say no. We can definitely do some research for you. I would have to probably coordinate with DODEA. But what we do manage, what MCOM manages, is the Army Traffic Safety Training Program, which focuses on service members. So not necessarily for, obviously, like kids and family members and things like that. But I can reach out to maybe DODEA and also maybe driver's testing to see if there is any availability to offer such a program in the future. And then we can get that information out maybe at the next CLIF.
Well, at K-Town, I think it's actually your office is the one that handles that.
Okay. I can certainly reach out to the Garrison at Kaiserslautern and see what such program they're offering. Thank you so much for the question. Any other questions? Thank you.
Good Wednesday morning, Stuttgart Military Community. Good morning. Good morning. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is the sensory shopping that's not starting, well, it did start here, Stuttgart first, but it's happening on the 11th of May from 7:30 until 8:30. And I just want to say, because of this community, this program is being rolled out initially at 6 exchanges worldwide: Fort Cavazos, Lewis McChord, Schofield, and then Fort Liberty. So without you guys, this would not be an exchange program. So community members, thank you for pushing this. It's a super important program. We dim the lights, we turn off the TVs for those with sensory difference, so they have an opportunity to shop. So please, if you have not experienced that, check it out. Super excited about this. Also on the 11th, for our four-legged family members, we have our May pet event. Please stop in. There's going to be giveaways from 11:30 to 1. Your pets are allowed to come into the facility in our outdoor living area. Pets, outdoor living. They'll open that back gate. Super excited about this. For facility closures, so Command Sergeant Major, we closed Charlie's on 4 May as we discussed, or last month. But Panda Express is coming behind. So just so you guys know, we do have always, if there's a closure, we are already working something to provide that service in kind. So Panda Express is coming in our third, fourth quarter, APHIS third, fourth quarters. So that starts in February. So we're looking at like an October, November timeframe for Panda Express. The other closure or stop of service that happened is Saheen Food Truck. We didn't really put that out there because we ebb and flow between food trucks all the time, but we recognize that people have their favorites. So a lot of times with our small business partners, it's a business decision. It's a financial decision that they have to make. And I know that we like to say APHIS wants their 50% and 70%. That's not a thing. We don't take that much, just so you guys know. But there are financial constraints that businesses have because of food cost, wage cost, there's all different things. Sadly, not on the slide, is Cena Bakery Panzer. Yesterday, Tina and I had a meeting with the Cena Bakery owners. If you didn't know, their warehouse is right down the street here. Unfortunately, due to those same financial constraints, there's a lot of different things that our German business partners have to go through to provide a service to this community. They are ready, they're willing, and they're able, but it could be costly. So because of that cost and Tina's good talking skills, we were able to salvage the Cena on Patch Barracks. However, the one on Panzer will be closing effective 31 May. And we will put that notification out, but don't worry, because yes ma'am, yes ma'am. And when we sat in the meeting yesterday, I definitely thought about the entire community because I always say Stuttgart first, but we always have something up our sleeves. Don't worry, I cannot announce it, ma'am.
Okay.
I can't, Command Sergeant Major wants to know if we can't, no, not yet, not yet. We're coming. Don't worry, as soon as we can announce, when somebody signs on the dotted line, because I never want to give false hope. I could tell you that Chick-fil-A is coming, but it's not. But it's not. Okay, sorry. So the next, SO stations. So I know that this is a huge deal for the community, and I watch the Facebook pages, and I know that OMB and the Graph GM put out that the verbiage. We didn't put that out here because it wasn't solid enough for me. I want to be able to provide a lot of information. So it's not every OMV station in the Stuttgart footprint. As of last Friday, we received a list specific that we're going to work to get out to the community for the OMV stations that are actually converting. So you're going to see the SO signing go up first. However, the system, their point of sale system, still cannot take our SO cards until August. But once they get those POS, the point of sale systems updated, all across Europe where these conversions of OMB are happening, you'll be able to use your SO cards. So my promise to the community is that we're gonna get that listing out so you know specifically where those OMB stations are. So we're working that. The next thing, if you didn't make it to our beauty event last Saturday at the main store, don't worry, those brands are here to stay. Origins, Kylie Jenner, these are very big brands. Skincare is huge for everybody, so we recognize that, always working to improve. If you haven't filed your taxes yet, I mean, even I did it. It may have been the 15th, but I did it. But H&R Block is still here for you through the 15th of May, and after that, if you need to make an appointment, you can. The last two subjects, propane tanks, guys. So we have those at Kelly and at Patch Expresses, but when your tanks are empty, please bring those tanks back. West Spa is located in Kaiserslautern. We are working to find a local source, kind of hard. You're dealing with, gas, basically. And that transport, so we need those empty tanks back. When your tanks are empty and you're done barbecuing, please don't forget to invite me. Please bring those tanks back. And then last but not least, Baskin Robbins. It's graduation time. My Dodea partners are up next. Please stop by, order your graduation ice cream cakes. They will take care of you. Mother's Day is coming. I'm a mom too. My son's going. I like a cake. So anyway, and last plug, USAG Stuttgart app. If you haven't seen the virtual pep talks, they help me at night. So please check it out. It's amazing, the partnership. So plug for my Garrison folks here. It's the app. On the USAG Stuttgart app at the bottom on the right side are the virtual pep talks. So check it out.
It's a bunch of kindergartners telling you what to do when you're sad. It's pretty great.
Amazing.
Carla, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but we were just at the Garrison Leaders Working Group this last week, and they mentioned that there seemed to be some movement for tattoo parlors, and I want to know if you could give us an update on, what the feasibility of getting a tattoo parlor here. Yeah, right.
Okay, I didn't expect that from my RSO folks. Tattoos. Tattoos is something that is being worked at our corporate levels. We were pushing forward really hard because we always want Stuttgart to be first, but because of the red tape and the regulations specifically in Germany and Europe, we are at a halt right now. until our lieutenant colonel for our med group, it can work through that red tape. So tattoos right now in Europe, it's on hold. Graf thought they were gonna be first. We were literally duking it out about this tattoo parlor, but we're waiting on the red tape. You're welcome. Pending any additional questions? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Good morning, Elizabeth Fales, Community Superintendent for the Stuttgart and Ansbach footprint. A few notices on the slide. We will be celebrating our track and field final meet on the 18th. Our seniors are graduating on the 29th. It is off post, so there should be limited impact to the community, but wanted to make that milestone highly visible. And also our Installation Advisory Committee is on 16 May at Robinson Barracks Elementary School at 15:30. We will be closed on the 27th to observe the holiday, and our last day of school is June 5, and that is an early release day, so earlier than the Thursday earlier release, so check with your school about what that looks like. Other items of community interest, we are in our registration drive, and this is an excellent opportunity for me to encourage, plead, cajole to pre-register and early register. If you're not coming back, let us know. If you're going to be joining us again next year, please pre-register. We have to make a lot of decisions based on those numbers. Right now, a few schools are right on track, and a few schools are really lagging behind at 30% re-registration. So if you can really encourage those in your teams to make sure they're out there and getting registration online, very helpful for us. That also impacts how we can accommodate our space available slots and our exception to feeder program. So a lot of people depend on those numbers coming in pretty early in the spring into the school year. So thank you for that to the community. School advisory committees, also the acronym SAC, which can be confused with school-age childcare, but our SACs, our school advisory committees, they are in the election season right now, those who know they're gonna have openings, so please reach out to your school if you're interested in volunteering and serving through that avenue. We'd welcome you. We will have a summer registration drive like we did last year. It'll be at Stuttgart Elementary School again to be near the hotel. So families with multiple children don't have to go school to school. They can come to one spot and register all their children. There is going to be information in our frequently asked question flyer that we send out every year. It'll be on the app as well. So those dates will be well publicized, and what you need to bring, and the pre-registration process will be there for new families. And then we are in our accelerated withdrawal window right now. So if you do have PCS orders and you need to leave before the end of school, certainly talk to your school about how we can help you with accelerated withdrawal and get you full credit for the academic year. Pending any questions. Ma'am?
Ms. Fields, do you have a first day of school date?
Yes, the calendars are at the final stage of approval, but they should be out by the end of this week. Yeah. Sir?
Do you know off the top of your head if the 24th of May, is that a normal school day for the kids?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Next year there will be some additional holidays in the calendar, and I believe that Friday before Memorial Day will be one, but this year it's an academic day. Yes. It's the third week of August we're targeting for back to school, the back to school day. We'll have a stage start though, ma'am, so PSCD through 12th grade starts. Our pre-K will start later. So all those different sliding dates will be publicized. Any others? Okay, thank you very much.
Hello, Pat Bonson here, student transportation. It's been a while since I've been up here, so my first announcement is I'm leaving. So there is a whole new staff turnover. There is good news that Mr. John Love is moving up. He is already a STO here, so there is a lot of continuity in the office and the services. We do have a new district transportation supervisor. He sits up at Robinson, and again, there's a lot of movement parts for where his office and his contact information is, so I'm holding off on that until it's finalized. And then we do have a hire for some of the other positions, but they're not fully accepted yet, so I'm not going to announce the names until that happens. And then, let's see. For the staff turnover and all that stuff, that we are working through the entire summer. We don't take the summer off. So again, as the new families approach us or PCS into the AO, then we are there to do the registration piece for the transportation along with the school. And then also further down, I'll cover that piece later. The registration piece of it, as far as the bus, we are separate from the school, so you not only have to register with the school, you also have to register with us. It's two separate systems that we have to input the data. But you do have to register with the school first because it's all tied to funding. So once they accept you, then we know that you've been funded, so it's your students have been funded, so we can go ahead and get you a seat on the bus. Okay, going down the list, as soon as I wrote temperature and turned in this slide, it all turned to cold weather and rainy. But everybody knows summer's coming. You know, it's hot weather. We are working with the bus companies to try and cool down the buses as much as possible before they release the students and go home for the day. The tie-in for it, not on the slide here, the tie-in to housing is as you have, as you are designated sponsors for inbound families, give them our contact information, because as they start looking at areas, and we can give them maps of the service area for buses, you know, they might be looking at houses. We can receive those addresses and then at least give them information on where the closest bus stop is, and which will save them a lot of headache and a lot of surprise at the very last minute. It's like, what do you mean the bus stop's so far away? So again, for the sponsors out there, reach out to your family, you know, ask them about, hey, have you thought about this, that, and then here's another thing to think about as far as student transportation. If you are moving off base or you want to move off base, the transportation piece is this contact information. This is how they can help you out, okay? Again, school is ending, so we are in the midst of processing all this returning students, especially the 6th graders and the 9th graders for next year who are changing schools, so they'll be assigned new routes. We have completed most of those, and we will be reaching out to the families to come pick up their bus passes closer to the end of school, because the sooner we give them the passes throughout summer, you know, inevitably some of them are going to lose them, so we don't want to give them out now. So just look out for emails and notifications of bus pass pickup. Okay, and then for all those families out there, those that are scheduled to PCS, but then they got orders to extend, reach out to us and update let us know what your updated rotation date is, so we can update your cards and then give you cards for the follow-on year and all that stuff sooner than later, so then you beat the rush of this summer when all the new families come and we start registering them for the bus transportation, because at that time, we are giving them priority over those that have been here and have been around for a while and just haven't reached out to us. UPK was mentioned, and I don't know if I'm overstepping my bounds, but it is a program next year. We are slated to support that. The good news is the criteria is every bus that has a 2nd grader or below will have a safety attendant on there. So I have submitted the funding for that, and it's in the works, but you know, I don't see any issues with that being fully funded. That's the good news. The bad news is now the contractors have defined 60 attendants is what I ordered for next year in anticipation of students riding, or little students riding on all the bus routes. But just because there's no safety attendant on the bus doesn't mean the bus is going to run. It's going to run regardless, and we're going to try and get as many safety attendants as we can to cover that criteria. Continuing on, if you can see it below, the cell phone that we have, we're being refreshed, all our cell phones. The only one that we have operational is that number down there, so take note of that. And then other than that, for registration piece, I'll go back to that, forgot to mention this part. For the registration piece in the USAG app, we do have I don't know what you call it, icon or bullet or whatever. It's under the school CYS tab, and then inside that tab is student transportation, where you can go in and get the registration pieces, other information, the student handbooks. And if that fails you, which it shouldn't, because that's a very faithful app, is you can also go to the school's website directly, and there is in the lower left-hand column, there is a school transportation tab that you can go in and look at all the information. Or just contact us with the phone call or email. Other than that, that's all I have. Any questions? Yes.
By adding the UPK students next year, do you think that runs the risk that that will make the buses fuller and that less kids will be able to utilize them? Or would there be additional bus added if that were?
So our leadership understands the big question mark of how many are coming. So looking at my ridership and, you know, the analysis of how many students we've had on each bus and routes and stuff like that, I think we can absorb it right now, and that's just me speaking from the data that we've been collecting, absorb all the new UPK students, because the number is unknown until they actually register. And but my leadership is flexible enough that, hey, if you need more buses, just tell us and we'll get it. So we have it's set in place that they understand there's going to be additional money required. We just don't know how much. Anything else?
No, Pat, we're certainly going to miss you. You made a big impact to the community. Every time, you know, we go into the school year, we bring Pat in to do, you know, the town hall, and he comes in with his like Kevlar and flag vest on, but he really handles everything with grace, and has a great team there working to. I mean, when it comes to your kids, right? It's kind of a no-fail mission. So, thanks for your contribution to the community, and we're going to miss you.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Alex, and I'm with the American Red Cross. I have a few things to go over today, so thanks for your attention. Coming up for key events, we have a number of CPR classes. So I know recently we announced that we reduced the pricing to attend a CPR class, and as a result, we've had a really high demand, which is great. Lots of people coming out to our classes. They've been pretty much full. So our volunteer instructors got together and added some additional classes to our schedule. So we have a lot more options now that we're offering. We have our CPR AED first aid training, as well as our basic life support, BLS, which is targeted to medical professionals and for those that are a little bit more familiar with a clinical setting. So if you'd like to register for one of those classes, make payment for a class, or just find out about future classes past May and June that we have up here, you can go to the link provided on the screen, and that information is available there. We also have our babysitting class next Thursday. Unfortunately, that is completely full. We know that's a very popular class, so we're going to do our best to add one to the schedule again in the fall. If your youth is interested in attending the babysitting class and you'd like to be notified once we add a new class to the schedule, you can get in contact with our office and we'll put you on essentially a wait list and let you know once we have those dates scheduled. And then the last thing that I'd like to talk about is our new volunteer orientation. We offer those twice each month. We have 2 of them coming up next week on Tuesday and Thursday, and this is a great opportunity for new volunteers to learn about the programs and services that the Red Cross offers here in Stuttgart. No registration is required for orientation, so you can just come to our office. We're in building 2948 on Panzer on the 3rd floor, and we'd love to welcome you. And then lastly, as we are moving into PCS season, we are anticipating that we're going to have a few of our lead volunteers PCS and leave us. So we're recruiting for a few open positions that are what we consider leadership positions. So if you know somebody who's interested, or if you're interested yourself, please don't hesitate you can come talk to me or Aaron Owsley or attend an orientation. That's a great start if you haven't done so already. And that is all I have unless there are questions. Thank you.
I'm going to take a quick moment while Ryan's coming up. I've got to go. I've got another engagement. DPW is going to come with me. I'm going to leave it here with the CSM, and she will continue to run the meeting. So thanks, everybody.
Okay, so hello, I'm Ryan. I'm with USO Stuttgart. I am the manager. And as we're jumping into PCS season, I really wanted to take this opportunity to remind everybody that we have a whole branch of our USO organization. It's not specifically here at Stuttgart. This works out of our headquarters. But we do have a Europe representative, so this is much more local than just Arlington. And it's entirely, this branch is our transitions branch, and this is for all active duty, all male spouses for any time during active duty or male spouse time, with a variety of benefits. Transitions is kind of a big word, so it's any kind of transition. It's a PCS, a job, just a education furthering. We have free resources that everybody should be taking advantage of. These are really good things. You don't want to miss out because people would pay a lot of money for a lot of this. Mentorship's a big one in my book. You get really good mentors out there and you'd be connected with somebody, which that goes a long way. But another one I want to really point out is the professional certificates. These are college level classes. You walk away with a professional certificate. There's a whole range of them to choose from IT to marketing to whatever your interest is. So if interested in any of these services, please follow the QR code, go to our uso.org website, and you just click a button there and you'll be connected one-on-one with a transition specialist to connect you just with the resources that you're looking for. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Major Dizon, the CMO at the clinic. So first off, I would like to highlight that booking online is now available through the patient portal. So initially, we are offering a few appointments per provider per day. And after that initial trial period, then we'll reassess and look to increase the number of appointments that are available. If you do not see an appointment time or date that works for you, we still have other appointments that are available. And you can either contact our call center or stop by our front desk, and then we'll be able to schedule an appointment for you. Just as a reminder, medical examinations, procedures, and acute appointments cannot be booked online. The next item we have is CYS physicals. So for our TRICARE Prime beneficiaries, we do encourage you to go ahead and schedule an appointment with your PCM. For our other ID card holders and dependents, we are planning on offering events to complete those physicals, and those can be scheduled through our call center. In order to schedule an appointment, those individuals will need to be registered through our clinic, and that can be completed through the patient administration section. The sponsor will need to be registered and will need to provide the social security number and the insurance information for every child that's going to have a physical. And one last item to note is that we are coming up to PCS season, and so we do have some provider departures this summer. So we do ask that you are patient and are proactive in scheduling those appointments to ensure continuity and minimize any inconveniences with scheduling appointments. For our facility closures, we continue to have our first and third Thursday afternoon closed for training. And then with Kelly Clinic specifically, it will be closed for the host nation holiday and provider absences as listed. Similarly, with the TRICARE Service Center, there are minimal services due to host nation holidays on May 1st, 9th, 20th, and 30th. And the final item to note is that the Armed Forces Wellness Center is back at the Patch Gym, and they do have flyers for information for the services that are available. The physical therapy clinic is still at Kelly, and their anticipated date to move back to the gym is July or August. That's all I have. Any questions? All right, thank you.
All right, good morning. My name is Sergeant German. I'm with the Stuttgart Dental Clinic. Don't really have too much to put out. We really don't have any key community events as of right now. One of the things I wanted to really highlight on right now, we just had about 6 to 7 individuals, just PCS and ETS. So right now, we're really short on staffing, so just kind of be patient with us. Sponsors are highly encouraged to enroll dependents in TRICARE Prime upon overseas arrival. contact United Concordia at that number right there. Right now, another thing is that we're not going to be accepting any new ortho patients because our orthodontist is going to be PCSing. We're going to be getting a new pedodontist, so we're going to be seeing kids. And right now, so far as for dependents, we're not seeing any dependents. It's kind of on a specific basis. We're not going to be booking out forward or anything like that. It's kind of like on a 3-day basis that we'll be seeing dependents, but overall, the only dependents that we're going to be seeing are children under the age of 12. Any questions?
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Sergeant Stevens with Vet Services. Just a reminder, Pet Day, May 11. Please come out, bring your pets. We'll be there to give out great information and also sell some items you might need for your pets. Absolutely. Please remember these dates. The vet clinic will be closed, as in we won't be taking appointments, but we'll still be open to if people need medication or any vitamins for the canines or cats. We're also going through a major PCS cycle, so we'll be very short-staffed, and also we're losing our veterinarian between June and July. We do have a civilian doctor that is there, but she's not there the entire duration of that time, so still make appointments. We'll be coming in very shortly. Clinical hours still the same, nothing changed there, so any questions at this time? All right, next slide, please. Only one? We'll have more information in. Stand by. This is very important for people who are about the PCS. Please come to us at least 2 months prior. If you do not need your order to start your out process with the vet clinic, but we do need to know at least 2 months prior. If you're short staffed, I understand we get our orders last second, we get told last second, it's okay. That 2 months is just us to get everything in a lot better. It is your responsibility to know where airline you are traveling with. Each airline, each state is different with information. It's up to you to know what the requirements are for your pets to travel. And then please make sure you have your original rabies certificate. They will not take copies. And that's all I have. Any last questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, with that, any alibis, saved rounds?
Hi, I'm Christy Rowell. I'm the Employee Assistance Program Coordinator for Stuttgart, and I just wanted to bring awareness that we, in collaboration with the Behavioral Health Clinic, are offering a grief support group on the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of the month over on Cancer. I do have flyers here, so if anybody's interested in picking this up, I'll have them on the back table.
So what the young lady said was that there's going to be some grief counseling available? Grief support counseling. 2nd and 4th Tuesdays. On Panzer. Okay. Dennis, did you have something else? No? Okay, that's it. Yes, Ms. Lopez.
So I also want to speak on the AA community. I've been a recovering alcoholic and have been in the community for over 2 years and 4 months. One of the things is education of not knowing where we are. AA, there is actually the AA Lubligan group that is located on Panzer and the Red Cross is that building. Underneath there, we meet on Monday and Thursdays at 6 p.m. We have had a member that branched off and made a group here in Vaegen at a church here, and that is Wednesdays at 8 p.m. And then we are bringing a group that will be here on Patch. So we're trying to bring more resources, alcohol information, alcohol awareness, and support. I got sober in this community, and so we have been really working to bring that support system here.
Okay.
And if you need any other times, the ASAP office is where you can find even more information.
So if you need some support from the ASAP, I would tell you to go to them for that initial visit. Is there anything else? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, can't see the light.
My name is Carolyn Bates. I am the Equal Employment Opportunity Officer for Stuttgart. We have new EDO posters, and they are out here on the table. If you don't have them in your area, you can pick them up out there, or contact our office, and you can come over to our office at
So what she said was 2948, the new EEO posters are out. I have mine on my door, so if you need those. And there are some available here in the main hallway here. With that, closing comments from Sergeant Major.
Hey everyone, so first ladies, thank you so much for putting the information out for the grievance group and the AA. We do appreciate that, you sharing that with the community. Hey, thanks so much for coming. I just ask that as we go through the CLIFs and there is some information that you think we are not covering, that it is important to get out to the community, we welcome that feedback so that we can kind of help ourselves help the community a little better. So if we're missing the mark on information that you think is relevant and it's important for us to put out on these CLIFs, just please come up on the net and let us know. We'll absolutely adjust. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting the Garrison. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you continue to do. We really just couldn't do without each and every one of you. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a good week. And I will be standing by for anyone who has additional questions or comments that they may need me to help them with. Thank you.